Austin Andrews here with your beacon. Today we talk about immigration being replaced as a concern for the election. As the 2024 election creeps forward and many are voting early for the presidential elections, new polls reveal that abortion has replaced immigration as being the second highest priority for voters, behind just the economy. It seems this trend is taking place due to Harris and her running mate pushing narratives about Trump not caring about women's health or rights and blaming Trump for the death of individuals who have suffered from botched abortions, while the media is hiding the immigration issues that continue to plague the country. The name Amber Thurman may ring a bell, as she is the latest woman whose death is being blamed on Trump. The story from Kamala Harris is that Thurman would be alive if abortions were allowed in Georgia. Since Donald Trump helped overturn Roe v. Wade with his picks for Supreme Court, Donald should be to blame. Never mind that Thurman chose to go across state lines for her abortion. She was late for her surgical appointment, to which they decided to give her chemical abortion pills, and then they sent her home, where Thurman went into septic shock due to not passing all of the baby's tissue. Harris wants to blame Donald Trump and not the hospital that neglected Thurman's care, and Harris uses stories like this in vague language to blame her opponent for death that did not need to happen had the hospital done their job, or if the woman had been supported with better care and opportunities to have the baby instead of choosing to end the life. But nevertheless, abortion is now polling as the second highest ranking issue over immigration now. And I believe a big part of that is the media's negligence on telling the immigration story. Daily Wire is helping to correct that as they tell the story of Logansport in Indiana. Amanda Prestigiacomo, Daily Wire reporter, talks about those details.
Well, we don't have the exact numbers on immigrants who've moved into the city in the last few years. Actually, the mayor of Logansport says he can't get a number from anyone in the state or federal government, which is a problem in itself. But there are at least thousands, potentially 5,000 Haitians alone, of these new migrants now in Logansport. That's significant since the city only has a population of just around 18,000. And another report estimates it's far more than that for the entire county, potentially as many as 11,000 new migrants. Again, most of these migrants have come from Haiti. In January of 2023, the Biden-Harris administration launched a new program that has allowed more than 200,000 Haitians to be paroled into the U.S. And then in the summer, the administration granted temporary protected status, or TPS, to 300,000 Haitian migrants. This means they can stay in the U.S. until at least February of 2026, even if they entered the country illegally. Logansport Mayor Chris Martin, for example, he said that there are assimilation issues related to culture. A resident named Nancy Baker told the New York Post that her 16-year-old daughter was chased by migrants after she rebuffed their calls to walk over to them while she was on her way to a nearby coffee shop. Another resident, 32-year-old Candace Espinoza, she told the Post migrants routinely stare into her windows while she's home, holding up their phones, potentially recording her, she said. Additionally, resources are now significantly strained. The number of Haitian migrant students in Logansport schools has increased 15-fold since 2021. Teachers are having to spend a lot of time with these students because of the language barrier. It's gotten so bad, Baker says her daughter dropped out of public school to take the rest of her classes online.
She quit. She's in online school now.
Why?
Because nobody was getting the attention that they needed. There was way too many kids. And it seemed to her that since they didn't speak the language and didn't understand what was going on, that they were getting more attention.
Baker told the Post she's frustrated that the school is spending all of its resources on, quote, one group of children while everybody else is falling behind.
Do we know why migrants are flooding some of these particular small towns? Why Logansport in this case?
It's difficult to track down exact answers on this, but there does seem to be a connection between nonprofits who are resettling migrants and businesses looking for labor. A report from Fox 59 and CBS 4 connected Haitian migrants in Logansport to Tyson Foods. That's a meatpacking plant. The report noted that Tyson did not respond when they were asked about how many migrants, particularly young migrants, are working for them in the city. Notably, Haitian teens are reportedly working shifts to help their families while also attending school. Tyson made headlines back in May when a conservative nonprofit called America First Legal asked the DOJ to investigate the company over its employment practices concerning migrants. AFL said Tyson employs 42,000 foreign workers, more than a third of its U.S. workforce. They're also accused of being involved in programs to recruit more migrants. Tyson strongly denied discriminating against American workers for migrants, and they said that all of their workers are legal. Now, in Springfield, Ohio, another town that's been inundated with migrants, also from Haiti, manufacturing and packing plant jobs opened up, and businesses welcomed and even encouraged the flow of migrants to fill those labor needs. A reminder for listeners, it's estimated that about 20,000 Haitian migrants moved into Springfield, which had a population of just 60,000 people.
Yeah.
Charleroi, a small town in PA, has seen a 2,000% increase in its immigration population in just the past few years. Residents and officials from those towns say there's been an increase in traffic violations and car accidents. They say resources at schools and local law enforcement are strained. Housing has become more scarce, and residents are struggling overall with the lack of assimilation from the newcomers.
That's Logansport, another example not all dissimilar to Springfield, a town in Ohio that was made a talking point by Donald Trump during his only debate with Kamala Harris in September. But these are interior towns being inundated by migrants being allowed into the country by the Harris and Biden administration. So what is happening on the border itself? Well, a San Diego County supervisor, Jim Desmond, went on the Glenn Beck radio show to report what he sees happening on the border in the county of San Diego.
Well, the numbers are down, but from record highs. We still have more capacity, more people coming across the border than we can actually handle here in San Diego County or on the San Diego sector. And what happened, from September of last year till June of this year, the Border Patrol dropped off over 155,000 people just into the streets of San Diego County. Mostly
155,000?
Yes, absolutely. They dropped off over that 9-month period of time, and we had to absorb them, or most of them left and went to other parts of the country. So they were just dropping off the excess here in our transit stations here in San Diego County. That stopped in June, but what they've been doing ever since, we're still taking more people in that we can manage here. There's about 3 buses a day that they're taking migrants. Border Patrol's taking migrants to Yuma, Arizona, which is right on the California-Arizona line. So about 3 buses per day, and they have about 3 to 4 flights per week leaving San Diego going to Texas, primarily McAllen, Texas. So it's just smoke and mirrors. What they're doing is they're just taking these numbers. They're no longer putting them on our streets, which was very in the open, and press and everything else had access to that. And they're hiding them by busing them to Arizona or flying them to Texas.
Of course, these are just 2 reports of the woes of immigration, but another example exists that we will dive into tomorrow. Are apartment buildings being taken over by migrant gangs in the United States of America? We'll find out more tomorrow. I'm Austin Andrews, and I'll see you on the next report.